This is the Jaguar F-Pace, the company's first SUV, or crossover, depending on what you want to call it. See, rather than let their cousins at Land Rover have all the fun making big SUVs, Jaguar's decided it wants in on the action. And what's more, they reckon this is no ordinary SUV. Apparently, it's an SUV with the soul of an F-Type sports car. That's fighting talk. Initial impressions are good, very good. If you expected this thing to be geared exclusively towards ferrying your wife, 2 kids and a dog, you'd be wrong. This thing was built to drive. It feels like a Jag, and not your grandfather's XJ either. Let's talk performance. The model I'm in uses the same engine as you get in a Jaguar F-Type V6 S. So it's packing a 3-litre supercharged V6 engine that chucks out 380 PS. It's a good deal heavier than an F-Type, but it's still good for 0 to 60 in around 5 seconds. This thing doesn't hang about. And the noise, well, it sounds good. It's nothing like an F-Type though. It doesn't pop or crackle as much as that car, but it does make a decent sound from the exhaust. And it makes an even better noise when you find a tunnel. That's pretty cool. As for handling, Jaguar's come out swinging. I was expecting a vaguely competent, if ultimately uninvolving drive, but the F-Pace is very special on the road. F-Type special? No, but for something this size, it's quite extraordinary. What this actually feels like is an XC, and that's no bad thing because the XC is brilliant. The steering is very direct, very responsive.
Lord of mercy.
And it's super agile through the corners. There is a little bit of body roll, but it actually helps you. You can lean on it. And what I find is that the steering, it's got an awesome amount of feel. You really know exactly what the car's doing at every given moment. You can even customize the ride to suit your own taste. The F-Pace has dynamic suspension that can be programmed for sportiness or comfort. And you can adjust the steering and engine to match whatever character you prefer. Maybe the coolest thing about the F-Pace is that it's predominantly a rear-wheel drive car. It is all-wheel drive, but unlike most all-wheel drive cars, it doesn't default to the front wheels and engage the rear wheels only when you lose traction. It works in reverse. Predominantly, it's rear-wheel drive and only engages the front wheels if things get a little bit slippery. As a result, it doesn't have that inherent understeer that you get in most cars with permanent all-wheel drive. In terms of handling dynamics, Jaguar's pretty much knocked this thing out the park. So the apple hasn't fallen too far from the tree where performance is concerned, but how does the F-Pace stack up elsewhere? Well, in terms of looks, Jaguar is definitely onto a winner. This thing has some quite lovely touches, including muscular rear haunches and wraparound rear headlights borrowed from you-know-where. But it's impossible to ignore the fact that it also has some elements borrowed from other Jaguar cars, including the XE and XF. Jaguar had the chance to justify the F-Link by going to town on the interior, but this feels like a missed opportunity. The interior, rather than embracing F-Type traits, seems to have inherited more from its less glamorous cousins. Those lovely motorized rising vents? Gone. The passenger safety handle? Gone. The phallic gear knob? Forget about it. They've switched out some of the coolest elements and gone for something that feels generic, sensible. Now, instead of having elements that were pointless but very exciting, you have things that are useful but maybe just a bit dull. Things to get excited about in the F-Pace include a 650-litre boot, lots of space front and rear, plus all the cubby holes, USB ports and cup holders you could wish for. And that's okay in an SUV, but if your SUV is inspired by a car that's an absolute bastard, you kind of wonder whether the two are related at all. There's no denying that where the F-Pace truly excels is in the way it drives. Forget all the extra practicality and the added boring stuff. This is all about the experience you get behind the wheel. I've spent an awful lot of time trying to work out whether this is a big F-Type or a mini Land Rover of some sort. But the truth is, it's none of those things. Jaguar have kind of tried to shoehorn many messages into what the F-Pace really is, but it really needs to be viewed on its own terms. All you need to know about this car is that despite its name, it's not a clunky marketing spin-off. It's a genuinely good, genuinely sporty, genuinely practical crossover that makes a damn good fist of being all things to all people. Forget the name, forget the fact it's an SUV from a company that doesn't normally make SUVs, and just bear one thing in mind. The F-Pace is effing brilliant.